Welcome to the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Wednesday, December 20th. This is Gina McGuire. Over the last 30 days, we've had precipitation mainly focused over the northern half of the Great Basin, but even this precipitation has been well below normal. Further south, over areas of southern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and parts of southwest Utah, we've seen no precipitation in the last 30 days, and also in the last 3 months, these areas have remained extremely dry. The rest of Utah and Nevada, any precipitation we have seen has been light and well below normal over the last month. Looking at the snowfall over the last 72 hours, you can see the snowfall has occurred across Wyoming, Idaho, and into parts of northern and western Nevada. The snow depth is deepest over the central Idaho mountains and into Wyoming, with still some snow in the higher elevations of the northern Wasatch and the Uinta Basin, and also into the Sierra. The satellite loop from this morning shows this deep area of low pressure that has now moved into the Pacific Northwest, pushing a cold front and a band of snow from western and northern Nevada up into Idaho this morning. This area of snowfall and this area of low pressure will move south and east as we move through today. Also, very strong winds associated with this area of low pressure that move through much of the basin overnight and into today, and will eventually keep moving east and south as we move through the next 24 hours, with wind gusts anywhere from 45 to 60 miles per hour or higher in the higher elevations. Clear conditions continue today over much of the southern areas of the Great Basin, but we will see some light precipitation make it down into parts of southern Utah and southern Nevada over the next 24 hours. Here's a general weather pattern for later this afternoon. The band of showers moves into eastern Nevada and Utah into Wyoming by later today. Most of this will be snowfall as temperatures are dropping rapidly as this area of low pressure moves through the basin. Dispersion will be quite good in all areas due to the very strong winds across the region. Looking at transport winds, again, this is later today. The strongest winds will be focused over southern and eastern Nevada and across the Arizona Strip and into Utah, with lighter winds north and west, but still breezy northwest winds, really region-wide. Mixing heights will remain quite high over the southern half of the Great Basin and a little bit lower as you get further north into Idaho. As we move into tomorrow, this area of low pressure moves east over the eastern half of the Great Basin. We will continue to see the heavier snow, especially early on Thursday, over much of Utah. There are several winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories across most of the Great Basin as this system moves east. Dispersion will remain very good over the eastern and southern half of the Great Basin tomorrow, again as those winds continue to remain very gusty. Further north into Idaho, Wyoming, and western and northern Nevada, dispersion will be decreasing as those winds decrease with the very cold temperatures. Transport winds, again on Thursday, the strongest winds will be over the southern half of the Great Basin. General gusts between 30 and 45 miles per hour, with occasionally higher gusts, especially in the higher terrain. Mixing heights will remain high over the southern half of the area and much lower as you get into northern Nevada and Idaho. By Friday, we see some ridging off the west coast, but we will see another system potentially drop south into parts of Idaho and Wyoming, bringing in another chance of snowfall, possibly even into parts of northeast Nevada and northern Utah. Ventilation index will be decreasing. There will not be the strong winds associated with this system, so we will see much lower mixing heights and lower dispersion, really region-wide with the exception of parts of Idaho and Wyoming. On Friday, again, as that system moves by to the north, that's where the breezy winds will be with a little bit better dispersion, but further south, winds will be much lighter. Mixing heights will be lowest across Nevada and into parts of southern Utah, and in the more moderate range over Idaho and Wyoming. Looking at the forecast clearing index over the next couple of days, it's no surprise with those strong winds today and tomorrow that the clearing index will be quite high over all areas, but will decrease significantly on Friday as those winds drop as that low pressure area moves to the east. Looking at the forecast amount of precipitation over the next few days, again, you can see most areas will at least be getting some precipitation. Even parts of far southern Nevada and the Arizona Strip might get very light showers, but again, the main focus is going to be in the higher terrain, especially across Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, and then into the Sierra. Snowfall amounts over the next 48 hours will generally total anywhere from 6 to 12 inches or even higher in the higher terrain. Again, most of that accumulation will be up high. In the valleys, generally light amounts over western Nevada, but we will see several inches of accumulation as you move further east across Nevada and into Utah. Also going through the next week, as these areas of low pressure move through, temperatures will significantly drop, with highs only in the 20s and 30s over the northern half of the Great Basin, and lows dropping into the teens and single digits, and in some cold areas below zero. Further south over southern areas of the Great Basin, temperatures will be near normal. By Saturday, the low starts to move east that affected Idaho and Wyoming, and we see more of a ridge of high pressure move in. Still some moisture, at least some cloud cover over parts of Nevada and Idaho. Dispersion will remain somewhat good with breezy northerly winds over Utah and southern Nevada, but much more poor as you move into northern Nevada and Idaho. By Sunday, the ridge moves overhead, but again, moisture moving up over the ridge will at least provide some cloud cover and even occasional showers over the northern half and eastern sections of the Great Basin. Ventilation index will remain low over much of the area. By Monday, we have more moisture moving in with another system dropping down from the northwest, so on the holiday could certainly see some new snowfall over the northern half of the Great Basin, again continued cold temperatures, but still continued dry conditions in the far south. Dispersion will remain poor through early next week. As we move into Tuesday, this low now slides to the east, with showers still affecting the eastern side of the Great Basin, but drier weather moving into the western half. Precipitation totals for Saturday morning through Sunday morning, again, mainly only show that system dropping in from the north across Idaho, bringing additional snowfall accumulations to Idaho, Wyoming, and northern Utah. Again, that next system on Monday, Tuesday will eventually provide more snowfall for Nevada as well. The 8 to 14 day outlook, which takes us through the end of December into early January, shows cold temperatures and below normal mainly over the northern half of the basin, with still warm conditions in the south, and generally below normal precipitation over the far west, with more near normal precipitation over the rest of the Great Basin. That concludes our briefing for today. Check back on Friday for the latest updates.